Are ghosts real?
Seeing flapping pigeons now everywhere. As I'm walking, there's like literally pigeons just like flying everywhere, and it's hilarious. Or were you buried in the corner? Guilty. Okay. Guilty of what? Oops. Is there any Lancastrians or Tudors here, should I say? Is the Oxford red tomato Peacock here? I don't know what it said there. So hello, my name is Corinne. If there is any spirits here, I am Yorkist through and through. That is why I'm wearing white, wearing blue for loyalty. And I've also got my Richard III boar, sun in splendour, and R on, as well as the boar here, and obviously the cross. And in my hair, we've got white and gold and white and gold. So I think it's pretty obvious where my allegiance lies. Definitely not on Team Flapping Pigeon. So the red gutter obviously is all along here. But here is, pointing with my little arrow, knew it would come in useful. So Lincoln was coming from this direction, and then Oxford, the red tomato, was here. Then you had Savage there, and then you had Scales there, and then you had Henry VII all the way freaking back here with Lord Strange. Very apt. Very apt name, I think. Anyway, they were back here, hanging back, basically being cowards. Here, Lincoln and Francis Lovell were coming from this direction here. So they attacked here, but then they got stuck because Oxford came forward, Scales and Savage came forward, and basically then they realised they were losing. So then they ran back this way, and this here is the red gutter here, and technically this is where oh no, sorry, it was along here, which is where the red gutter is here. But this is a 3D terrain model of the battlefield. So the white arrows show where basically the Yorkists retreated. And then this was the terrain here. And then, so they tried to basically go back towards the village, but didn't realise that it was so savage, the terrain. And then of course they got massacred. Because it ran, basically this whole area ran with blood, effectively, which is why it was called the Red Gutter, and is said to indicate how the area obviously ran with blood, but also as well the soil is actually clay and red clay soil. So it actually, and you can see it here, which is fantastic because that means I can actually show you. So you can see it's actually a red tint to the soil, and you can actually properly see it in the sun there. So you can see that also it was named after that because of the soil actually being red. The Yorkists obviously were forced to flee because they realised, because of Henry VII and his army, that it was basically too big for them to really, you know. But they were panicked, and then they were bottlenecked into escaping Oxford's troops. So Oxford was, again, the red tomato, was the one that sort of hemmed them all in into here, and then basically, yeah. So 4,000 Yorkists, that's it, 4,000. So out of those 4,000, only 200 people escaped out of 4,000. That is brutal. That is really, really brutal. And up to half of Oxford's troops were slain in the battle as well. So they did really well, considering they did really well. They did get most of Oxford's troops, which was a total of 7,000 troops. So they did half of that. They got rid of half of his troops. But obviously Henry VII ordered the purge against the Yorkists. On the 17th and 18th of June, the English and Irish fugitives were being hunted across in the surrounding areas, and the German mercenaries were sent home without payment. Henry VII obviously won over the Yorkist army, and Lincoln, Schwartz and Fitzgerald were all killed in the battle. And according to legend, Henry was really angry that Lincoln had been killed because he wanted to interrogate him himself. He wanted to know why Lincoln had turned on him. But of course he got killed, so he couldn't. Not that it's funny that Lincoln died, because it's not, but it's just funny he didn't get his own way again. So obviously I'm back at home. Obviously this is a little insert here which I forgot to say. Behind me is my little boar banner. I thought I would show that one off. But personally, for me, if you wanted please correct me if I'm wrong here, by the way, but if you wanted someone to die, right, and you wanted to kill them yourself, or you wanted to interrogate them, or whatever, surely you would give an order to say, A, don't kill this dude, or B, let me get to him first. But the flapping pigeon didn't. In fact, he turned up late, and then sat at the back of the entire thing. So, and then complained because Lincoln had died, and someone had taken him out. So, logically, if I'm thinking logically here, he is the king. He could have given an order, and he didn't give an order, and then got really angry about it. Yeah. What do you all think of that? And then the Pretender to the Throne, Lambert Simnel, was then obviously taken into as a prisoner, if you like. And again, legend says that he worked in the kitchens for Henry, in the royal kitchens. However, he did quite well for himself, and in 1513 he was actually a royal falconer. So he went from kitchen to royal falconer. Although the rebellion was still a threat for a further 8 years after this, the Yorkist claim, of course, was never as strong as it had been. So effectively, this was the end of the Yorkist era, if you like. So I'm gonna try again, perhaps, with another spirit box session. This view is absolutely beautiful. Look at that, it's so lovely. I'm just gonna put my arrow down for a second. So, is there any Yorkists here? My name is Corinne. The Yorkist name still lives on. I am a Yorkist. And there is still a load of us out there, by the way. So you did not die in vain, just to let you know that. We thank you for your service, and we pray for your souls. there any Lancastrians or Tudors here, should I say? Is the Oxford red tomato Peacock here? I don't know what it said then. By the way, Oxford, I don't like you, by the way. I don't like Lord Scales either. I also don't like Savage either. I may be a girl. I may be a girl. But I'm a Yorkist through and through, and it's probably a good thing I wasn't here. But I'm a Yorkist through and through, and it's probably a good thing I wasn't here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn on Ghost Tube while I walk. Oh, the other thing I did bring with me is I brought Francis Lovell's signature with me. So this is Francis Lovell's signature. Before I move on, actually, can anyone tell me what happened to Francis Lovell? Does anyone know? I'd love to speak to him if he is here. My Lord Francis Lovell, if you are here, I curtsy to you. Okay, I don't feel like I'm getting anything again there, in all honesty. I'm gonna just turn on Ghost Tube again, but my goodness me, I feel just, I don't know, I feel a bit weird. If I'm being honest, I'm feeling a little bit weird. I'm just trying to find Ghost Tube, sorry. That's why I've disappeared from view for a second. So I've turned on Ghost Tube. So Ghost Tube is running. Apart from the sound, doesn't appear to be working. It's on high, but it just said no. But I don't know why it didn't say no. Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see if I can hear it again. But look how long this ditch goes. Like, this ditch is flipping massive. Goes all the way along here. I mean, if you were fighting and you were just basically pigeonholed.
Satan.
Oh, it is working now, and it said Satan. if you're pigeonholed, right, into this, I mean, that would be flipping scary, quite frankly. And then the river is down here. You can't see it. The river is down here. And there's a bee that is kind of attacking me now. Ah! let's run. Well, let's not run, but... So is there any spirits here? My name is Corinne. I have an arrow. Random arrow. I do also own a bow. I don't just have an arrow for the sake of it, but what I might actually do is just said Neil, as in Kneel, not Neil the name. Well, it's me again. Very quickly, I don't know whether you heard it, but earlier when I was doing a spirit box, actually, I swear I heard Neil. And so for it to come again on GhostTube is really interesting. So I've inserted the place where I think it says Neil, and I want you guys to tell me whether you hear it or whether you don't. So let's get back to the video. If you are Yorkist, I will kneel to you, but if you are Tudor, then I will certainly not kneel to you, because quite frankly, no is the answer. So you'll have to tell me, are you Yorkist or are you Tudor? Because if you're Tudor, that is an absolute no. I'm not doing it. I don't care. I don't care what happens to me, but I'm not doing it. See, if I was Oxford, well, if I was up against Oxford, I would try and psychologically break him down, which actually wouldn't be too hard, to be honest. Or you'd have... It says, I'm scared. I'm so sorry that you're scared. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Buried.
Ooh, okay, that's really on point. Buried. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, they were buried basically in this field, pretty much straight after. Oh, the moon is up there, but you can't see it with my camera.
It's here.
It's here. What's here? Are you saying you were buried right here? Is that what you mean? Although having said that, they weren't buried right in the field because, again, ploughing. They knew that ploughing would be, because obviously there was fields that were to be ploughed, so they wouldn't put everybody, but there was like mass graves, and then obviously they did bury people in the church, which I'm going to go to after this.
Goodbye.
Oh, it just said goodbye. Goodbye to you too. Have a lovely day. Whatever you get up to. I don't really know what... Oh, it just says help. What do you need help with? I thought it just said goodbye and then it's like, oh, help. What do you need help with? I brought some prayers with me. Do you wish for me to pray for you? I will do. I will pray for you. So you can see how high actually the landscape is there. Oh, wow. And I've just realised I have got... Where is that even going?
Have we met?
Have we met? I do not know. Have we met? I'm not sure. I have been to Bosworth. I have been to Bosworth Field, where I had a go at the flapping pigeon, and called him the flapping pigeon.
Covered.
And then, where else did I go? Well, I've been to many places actually. I certainly feel like there is something, like a weird, I don't know, as I said, I just feel a bit weird. And I had a bit of a stomach ache earlier. And now that's gone, which is good, because it was making me feel a bit uncomfortable. But that's gone.
In the corner.
In the corner. Well, there's a corner coming up here. What do you mean in the corner? Do you mean you're in the corner over there? Or am I walking towards you? Is that what you mean? Are you in the corner of the field? Or were you buried in the corner? Guilty. Okay. Guilty of what? Oops. What are you guilty of? Do you feel like you were committing treason? Is that why you feel guilty? Or,
Let me show you.
it says let me show you. Okay. Not really sure how you'd show me, but okay. I will stop walking.
Who is he?
Who is he? I don't know. Who is he? Well, I'm a she. So I don't really know. I don't know who you mean. Unless you think I'm a man. I'm sure. Surely the dress should give it away that I'm not a man. I mean, women were on the battlefield, so that was a bit harsh. Is there anyone here that needs some herbs? Do you need like healing?
Imbecile.
Just call me an imbecile. I'm sorry, that is just brilliant. Brilliant. No, yeah, I haven't heard that one before. That seems to come out on a regular occurrence. Imbecile. So there's a little, look at him. There's a little ladybug that is just on me now. Oh, he's flying away. There he goes. Quick dowsing rod session. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me. I'm just going to put the arrow down. So, if you guys don't know what these silvery things are, oops, they won't harm you or hurt you. All they do is they let me know that you are here and you can communicate with me using them, and that is it. So, let's try this. So we'll do a yes or no question. Is there anyone here with me right now? If there is, can you cross the rods in front of me, please? Right, so again, I've decided to put this into two parts. So the next part will actually be the church, and a tiny bit that I did walking back along the ditch as well, back towards the church. So that will be coming next week. But this was certainly interesting. There were some really interesting things. I don't know if you heard what I thought I heard. But I did think I heard someone repeat the word peacock at one point. Let me know though in the comments whether you heard that or not, and it may have just been me. But don't forget to like for me and subscribe if you have enjoyed this one. And I will see you next week for another episode of Areghostsreal.
Accountant king, his coffers had no groats. A homeless hot potato with 1,000 borrowed coats. He's the worst accountant king, that's just a fact.